So as a parent, there's only a few places that you really look forward to taking your kids for the first time. And one of those places is definitely Disneyland Resort, Southern California, and that's where we're going next. What's up? It's CJ. And I had the absolute pleasure of going out to Southern California, Disneyland Resort with my family. And I wanted to break down the park with you today. Going to go over 5 areas about the park, and we're going to start off with the first area, which is parking and the entrance. So I did a separate video that went through the parking. Definitely encourage you to take a look at that video. But the one thing I wanted to just mention about the parking is typically there's 3 different areas that you can park in. There's one that's an open lot area that is for sort of the bigger vehicles like a motorhome or RV, something like that. And then there's a couple of parking structures where you're parking kind of the normal vehicles at. Both of those areas have transportation to the actual park entrance itself. You can actually walk from the parking structures if you wanted, about a 15-minute walk. Otherwise, you can take the tram, which is what we did both days. Took the tram over to the park entrance area. If you're parking in the open air parking lot, that one you're going to take a bus over to the park entrance. And then as far as the entrance itself goes, anybody who's been to Disneyland or Disney World knows it's an iconic entrance, okay? You have the grass and it has the Mickey Mouse symbol in it. You walk into the actual park itself and you end up on Main Street. And, you know, I'm no major Disney fan. I mean, it's fine. I've actually gone to Disney World several times. This is my first time to Disneyland. But I've always loved Main Street. It's just something that stuck out into my mind. I don't know, I might be an old soul. You know, I kind of, think back to those Mayberry days with the small towns, and that's really what Main Street reminds me of. But you go down Main Street, you see Sleeping Beauty's castle in the background. Again, just an iconic entrance, and my kids loved it. Next area we're going to talk about is one that's near and dear to me, and that's food. You know, Disneyland and Disney World, they're not necessarily known for having gourmet food, okay? But they do have a lot of options. And we were lucky enough to try a few of those for sure. We had some pizza there. It was solid. It wasn't anything great, but it was okay. But of course it had a price to it. I mean, everything's got a price when you're going to Disney. We had hot dogs and fries and that sort of thing. Again, solid, nothing great. Nothing terrible. It was fine. Okay. When you're walking around, probably anything tastes good after a few hours at the park. We also had, of course, popcorn and ice cream, and my daughter had churros for the first time. She enjoyed that, so that was good. But overall, just the food is okay. Now, we didn't have an opportunity to do one of the sit-down restaurants. I think that's where you get a little bit more of an elevated service. The one that I was really disappointed in not checking out was the Blue Bayou in the New Orleans area. The New Orleans area of the park is different than what they have in Walt Disney World, like Magic Kingdom. They don't have the New Orleans area. This one they do. And that Blue Bayou restaurant actually has adult beverages that they have there. And if you're like me and you've spent hours at the park with kids, you probably could use an adult beverage. So I was looking forward to having one of those hurricanes. Couldn't do it this time, but next time we get out to Disneyland, I'm hitting up Blue Bayou. The next thing I want to talk through is the rides and attractions, okay? This is, of course, why everybody comes to Disneyland, is to get on their rides, see the attractions. For me, it's always the classics. You know, I love getting on Pirates of the Caribbean, although this one seemed a little more aggressive of a Pirates of the Caribbean than maybe what they have at Walt Disney World. In fact, for those who've been to both parks, if you can go in the comments section, let me know. It seemed like the drop in the boat ride down in Pirates of the Caribbean was just a significant drop in Disneyland versus Magic Kingdom. Let me know if I'm crazy or not. You know, it could be just me. But I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Love Jungle Cruise. We did that. That was awesome. We did a submarine ride, the Finding Nemo sub ride. My young kid, my son, he's 4. He loved it. He loves anything with water, so he had a great time with that. And then he loves trains. And so, of course, we did the train ride around the park, and he really enjoyed that as well. So those are just a few of the rides that we did. But overall, again, just love it. We couldn't do the Haunted Mansion. I was very disappointed in that. Just too long of a wait for that one. My daughter's favorite ride was actually Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Now, Not a big roller coaster fan. Those who like roller coasters are probably saying, Chris, that's not even a roller coaster. I get it, I understand, but for me, definitely a roller coaster. Not a huge fan of it, but proud of my daughter. She showed a lot of bravery. She loved that ride, so she's looking forward to doing it again. The next area I wanted to talk through was my oldest daughter's favorite area, and that's the parades. And anybody who's been to Disney or you've watched YouTube videos, you'll inevitably see the parades. We were lucky enough to go during Christmas time. So the parades were all Christmas themed, and they were, like always, spectacular. We got to see a lot of the old favorites, Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy, but of course they mixed in some of the new characters as well, Frozen characters. And then of course we had Santa. So it was a great time. Parade was awesome. We actually went twice because my oldest daughter loved it. So we went during the day, and then we actually got to see the parade again when it got dark. And I don't know about you, but there's just something about Disney at night where you got the light shining and the parade's going. That was a great time. And then the last area I wanted to talk about, but certainly not least, is the cost for the trip. Okay, so again, this was a family of 5 vacation, a 2-day, no park hopper. This was just strictly going to one park, and the cost was $1,510. That's right, $1,510 for 5 of us to go to Disneyland for 2 days. And was it worth it? Well, yeah, I mean, to us it was. The pictures, the memories, you know, I don't want to say they're priceless. There's a price for everything, but $1,510, it was what it was. You know, you pay the price. We enjoyed it. And then there's one thing that the wife and I, anytime we go to a Disney property, we have to take our kids to, and that is a character breakfast, okay? Or character dining of some sort. Could be dinner. In this instance, it was breakfast. We did Minnie and Friends. It was on Main Street, I think at the Plaza Inn. And we really enjoyed ourselves. It was probably the best food that we had because they had made-to-order omelets. You got made-to-order omelets, I'm good. I'm happy with that. And then it had other breakfast stuff too, waffles and fruit and bacon and sausage and all that good stuff. So the food was good, but the bigger thing was just the characters. There was a lot of characters there. You take a picture with Minnie right when you come in, and we have those pictures. I'll probably include one of those in the video. Then there's just different characters coming table to table. They're going to take pictures with your kids if they want. They're going to sign autographs. A lot of kids had the little autograph books. They'll sign those, and they spend a good amount of time at the table. So to me, that was the best thing that we did. And yes, it cost money. It cost us over $200. I know that, to do the character breakfast, but it was definitely worth it. So if you're like us, you love characters, you love having your kids get pictures with characters, do yourself a favor, do some type of character dining, whether it be a breakfast or a dinner. And again, thank you so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video.